Hello, everybody. Welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I'm the Outback Al.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm cheating you.
And this week, we watched The Great Teacher Onizuka. It was a Studio Pierrot production from back in, I want to say the late 90s. It was actually like 99 to 2000 that it was released, based on a manga, I believe. We watched the first 3 episodes of it. What did everybody think?
Eh.
I had a feeling you wouldn't like it.
I had the same feeling.
I don't know. It episode 1 I didn't care for. Episode 2 I thought was fine. And then I got through partway through episode 3, so I can't really give an opinion on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have the best intro for a likable character in this.
No.
No.
I'm like, uh-oh. I'm not gonna like him.
I'm gonna be honest, I watched it with Yin a little bit, and we both kind of agreed. It seems like it's the start of some sort of porno. So let's get into it, I suppose. It starts, we meet, I forget his first name, but Onizuka.
Mm-hmm.
He...
Keiichi?
What? Kenichi?
Keiichi.
Taichi? I'm sorry.
Keiichi.
Keiichi Onizuka, played by Steve Bloom, which
Yep.
I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But he is a young man just at a teaching school, and he's looking up girls' skirts at the train station. And some guys come over and they're going to beat him up for his money, and then they don't realize that he's jacked, and he just basically wrecks them because he would. He used to run a motorcycle gang with his buddy who now owns a bike shop, which actually makes more sense for him to do if he was looking for work. But yeah, he's going to be a teacher. Why? Because he wants to hang out with a bunch of underage high school girls in short skirts. This is our hero, everybody. And yeah, he goes, he's in a student teaching position. But they give him the delinquent class, and they try to blackmail him by having the pretty girl in class go home with him, and I'm not going to go into a ton of details, but it's a honeypot situation, and they take pictures of him in a compromising position, and then they're like, all right, pay us, I think it's 1,000,000 yen, which is $10,000 American? Something around there. I don't know what the exact exchange rate is, but somewhere around that. And yeah, then he gets the ones who are blackmailing him decide to hang out in a park for a little bit, and they get surrounded by a biker gang, which I originally thought was like Onizuka's gang, but it is not. And then Onizuka shows up, and he just starts walking through all of them, just throwing people aside, and they're like, who is that? Oh my god, it's Onizuka. He's a monster. I'm sorry for whatever we did. And everyone's like, oh shit, this guy is not someone that anyone should ever mess with. And we messed with him. So he rigs up a medieval torture device to torture the 3 students who were blackmailing him.
Yeah.
And yes, but it's specifically how they waterboarded him. I think that was the method that they used whenever it was like the Salem witch trials or something. You got to be specific, because there's different, more efficient forms of waterboarding nowadays. Don't ask how I know that. Anyway.
All right.
He's like, you know what? I did my thing, but you know what? They're probably going to fire me. But it turns out this was good, because now all the delinquents respect him.
Yep.
And he goes back to school the next day, and they're all listening, and they're just like, yeah, we'll listen to whatever you say, man. Just don't kill us. Because he probably could very easily. Then the girl who was used as the honeypot, who I think she was going to get 25%, which is That's not bad. That's good money. She decides to actually try to hang out with him, and does so by showing him panties, because he's still a perv, despite the fact that he knows that she's a liar and jailbait and more trouble than she's worth, probably. But I guess she offers him food at her house, and he's like, okay, I'm not going to pass up free food. Which, yeah, she has like a ton of sushi or something. She doesn't have a good home life, and she makes poor decisions because I guess it's maybe a way of lashing out at her parents because they're a bit absentee and they don't connect very well anymore. They used to be really happy before they got rich, and I don't know, there's some kind of like story there going on with like the whole, oh, money can't buy you happiness, you know, you gotta have connections with family and friends and stuff to be really happy. And that's good, but it's also wrapped up in this story about a pervert who decided to become a teacher because he wanted to hang out with underage high school girls.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But he leaves, and she follows him, and he can't seem to get rid of her. And she's like, please let me stay at your place. I don't want to go home. And he's like, no, go away. And then she tries to kill herself by... Yeah.
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 And he's like, what the hell is wrong with you? And she's like, there's a wall between my parents. Now they're sleeping in separate rooms and all this other stuff. And it's such a cold wall. And he's like, oh my God, get over it. And he drives away. She goes home, and then he shows up at her house, shirtless, with a giant sledgehammer. He's like, okay, which wall is it? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was the part where I'm like, okay, this is actually getting kind of funny. So he goes up to the room. He's like, hey, show me where it is. He's smoking a cigarette the whole time. He's just like, all right, here we go. And he just smashes the wall down and leaves a giant hole there. He's like, there you go. No more wall. Try to rebuild your family now. Metaphor. I don't know. He just leaves. Yeah. I think that's essentially what the whole show is you have this guy from an unconventional past now going to be a mentor to younger people, and he's going to use that unconventional wisdom to help them in their lives, a la School of Rock. Except I think School of Rock's probably a bit better for families and stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
No.
No, but they do make at least
Thank
one pedophile
God.
joke in that movie.
Well.
But yeah, so it turns out he did well. They kind of offer him a job, but they don't. Some other guy got expelled for hitting on a student. Good thing you didn't actually do that, Onizuka, and everyone else is like, yeah. The first episode was like 48 minutes, which I didn't realize was going to happen. Otherwise, it would have been like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, kind of a long intro, but, you know, it got everything out that it needed to, I think, so... and then, you know, they move on to him. He has to, like, pass an entrance exam, and if he doesn't, he could still work at private schools, and it's about him interviewing for stuff and making a bad impression every time he goes anywhere. Example, he was on his way to an interview when he's on not the subway, but like just a trolley car, something like that, some sort of, like, public bus type situation, and some dude was a pervert sniffing a girl's ass.
Ugh.
And he grabs him and just kind of smacks him around a little bit once they get off the bus. And, yeah. Of course, who is he going to interview with as soon as he gets to the school but butt sniffer?
Ugh.
Yep. Also, the girl whose butt was being sniffed was also a teacher applying for the school, which, like, okay, I feel like you could easily sue the school if you really wanted to at that point. But yeah, so obviously Onizuka does not have a very good record in general, or skills, or resume, or anything like that, and the vice principal was like, yep, you're not working here, and he's like, okay, bye. He has a fantasy about throwing him out a window, but he's like, okay, bye. And he goes down, hangs out with the school shopkeeper, like that has a little cafe area, and he gets some coffee, and he's like, you know, I knew so many guys like that vice principal back in the day who were like, always say the students were trash, or they were this, or this was that, and then, you know, you start to think about it yourself, and like, yeah, maybe I am trash. I always hated that. I wouldn't be a teacher like that. And of course, the lady who got butt sniffed is like, oh, she's overhearing it. I think she's falling in love with him. I don't know that she should entirely, but regardless, some students come back who apparently got kicked out for violence. And how do they solve their problems? With more violence. They've come to beat up the vice principal, and he calls him trash. And Onizuka's like, you know what? I'm going to step in because maybe I could score some brownie points. But he hears the vice principal constantly saying, they're trash, throw them out like trash. And so Onizuka does the only sensible thing that anyone could do in that situation. He grabs the vice principal from behind and German suplexes the guy.
Yep. Maybe.
The German suplex has been around for a very long time, my friend. As the superintendent would know. Because, he leaves, decides to become a truck driver, and then he gets a call. Yeah, the superintendent wants to interview you for this job, like do a final interview. And he's like, I got to get back. I got to make this 8-hour trip back in less than 3 hours. He does make it in 6, breaking all the speed limits. He's in a truck. He's destroyed the truck and so many other things. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This man destroys other people's lives to some degree. Whether he's improving them or not. I think I just saw a guy walk by with a bayonet on his belt.
Wow.
I might be crazy, but I'm pretty sure I just saw that. There's a big window where I'm at. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Anyway, he makes it to the interview.
Yep.
And who is the superintendent? My God, it's the lady from the shop, because I guess she likes to disguise herself or whatever. Because that's a trope that's always ripe for good content stuff. Anyway, she hires him because she hasn't seen a great German suplex like that since what was his name? Carl Gustav? Gustuk?
Something.
I looked him up. Apparently, he was a Belgian-born wrestler, professional wrestler who went to Japan whenever Japan was starting to get into wrestling, and he became known there as like the god of wrestling, and helped to kind of form the wrestling scene over there. So, I mean, that is high praise right there. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of help reform some things. Go with the toughest class and all that sort of stuff. So that's episode 2, and then episode 3 he moves into the school because I guess he's allowed to do that.
I guess the thing is like a part of him being a teacher there, he also gets free board. So that was part of the deal.
Yeah, I don't know how he scored that.
I don't know.
But in any case, he's living on the roof, basically, in a storage room.
Yep.
But, he makes it as comfortable as he can, and I guess he, he finds some people there at night, going through people's lockers and having sex by the pool, and, he, I guess, deals with them. So I guess he doubles as a nighttime security guard now.
Which, honestly, on the part of the superintendent, is smart.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest.
I'm going to be honest with you right now. She had a bit of a Gendo moment in one of these episodes where she was just kind of sitting at her desk with, like, her fingers kind of, the Gendo pose.
Yeah.
And I'm like, You have machinations going on, lady. But yeah, then turns out there was a kid who was in his class who's getting bullied, and he's going to jump off the school and die. But he's like, no, kid, don't do that. You're going to make a mess, man. You have any idea what's going to happen when you jump off? Your blood and guts are going to go everywhere. He's like, my blood and guts are going to go everywhere? My brain, everything? Yeah, splat, man. It's going to be real bad. Don't do it.
At the very least, he's going to completely shatter his ankles.
Well, yeah, it depends. I don't know how high the school is, but, like, you do a swan dive. You could...
No, but a fall from that height, that's at least what you're going to get. Along with possibly death.
Now, 3 stories going feet first, I think you can survive that pretty easy. You have to swan dive if you're gonna try to kill yourself like that. But they slip off the roof, and Onizuka goes with him, And I think he might be Batman, because I've only ever seen Batman survive a fall onto a car like that before. Basically cradles the kid and just takes the full impact of basically totaling the vice principal's car and just walks away.
Oh, wait. No, I'm fine with this. Never mind.
Yeah, the vice principal was even there. He's like, I'm too drunk to drive you right now, but we'll be together forever soon. And then Onizuka and the kid just, boom, they don't pancake it, but they completely cave the roof in. And Onizuka just walks away like it's nothing. So, he might be Batman. We don't know yet. It's not confirmed. But, anyway, he takes the kid home, and he's like, all right, oh, you like video games? I like video games. Can I borrow some of these? He takes all of his video games. And he's like, I'll see you around, see you in class, stay cool, buddy. And the kid's like, you know what? Maybe things aren't so bad. I have at least one friend out there, and maybe I can get a little better and whatnot. And then the next day they go into school, and some kids took pictures of his face and photoshopped it onto like some medieval torture stuff with dildos up his ass.
Yeah.
So yeah, next episode I assume is him reacting to that, which he'll probably do in Onizuka fashion.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, what are our overall thoughts? Were there likes and dislikes? I feel like some people had some dislikes here. Who would like to start?
I mean, the whole him being like, I guess 22 and like wanting to hit on like high school girls, of course that's like not Gucci.
No.
It's skeevy.
Definitely not.
Okay. No, one guy got expelled for that. From what I understand, as far as like the whole age thing, their federal government, their national government, age of consent is 14. However, according to what I know, every prefecture in Japan individually is allowed to set their own age of consent, and they have all decided it's 18. So, across the board in Japan, it's 18, even though the government itself has said 14.
You can basically what that's saying is you can be tried on a local level, but not on a federal level.
Yeah.
Is what that means.
Yeah. So that's really the only difference.
More
But
or
it's
less.
basically just 18. That's it. No. I don't think this show condones it either. He's clearly not shown to be a good guy for doing these kind of things. For, at least thinking that way. And the guy who did do it was fired for it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel like this is just one of those stories, again, like School of Rock, where it's like, guy gets into something for initially selfish reasons, but unintentionally comes across a way to really help people. Like with Jack Black's character, he wanted money, so I'll fake being a teacher for a while, but then he finds out, wow, these kids are really talented. Maybe I can use them for my own personal gain, but after a while he's like, you guys need this music, and I want to show you how to use it to better yourselves. And I like that movie. And that's good. And I like that element of this show. Because I think he did help that kid, that suicidal kid. I think he helped the girl with her parents a little bit. Because even she was like, afterwards, he's like, you know what? He broke down the wall. They rebuilt it, and things aren't perfect, but I'm going to do what I can to help it moving forward. And I'm going to say this. He still says that he wants to be surrounded by, underage girls. But at the same time, I think he's mainly going to be hitting on the teacher who's his own age. Which is better. I think. He is 40 characters in this show. I started watching, Steve Bloom, that's Onizuka. And then one of the guys mugging him was also Steve Bloom, I think. And then the cop that pulled him over was also Steve Bloom. And then the dude who was, like, hiring him at the school was Steve Bloom. And then there was, like, I realized it was probably just, like, a low-budget production kind of thing. But Steve Bloom is at least 14 people in this. And Wendy Lee is, like, 3, I think, so far. So, and there's a couple other people who I know I don't have their names. But I know they're repeating a bunch of people. It's like, and you know, they're different enough that if you don't know and have the ear for it, I don't think everyone will pick up on it. But if you know Steve Bloom and a lot of his work, you're gonna be like, okay, all of you. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely recognize his voice, like, for a couple different characters, but I probably didn't catch it with all of them.
Yeah. I probably missed some. But there was a bunch where I'm just like, you. There's a couple scenes where he is just the only person talking in a scene. So.
I mean, I'm sure he had fun on those recording days.
Oh, how could you not? But yeah, that's the main thing I had to say about the voice acting. I think the voice acting overall is okay. Like, I don't know. This was like post Bebop, so things were getting a little bit better in that regard, I think. Yeah. I think he's just a guy who really enjoys the characters he gets. But, so I'm assuming, does anyone have a favorite character in this? I feel like there's not a lot of people to cling to.
Not really.
Trying to think. I don't know. I feel like at the very least, like, from episode 1 leaned very hard into pervy comedy.
Yeah.
I feel like the second and third one leaned away from that a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I liked episode 2 and what I saw of number 3 a bit more. But episode 1 just did a lot to really throw me off with it, so I think it kind of hurt itself, at least with me. I don't know about with the general audience.
That was exactly what
watching it.
Me and Yin were saying. We were just like, Chibi is not going to enjoy this one very much.
Yeah. Like I said, it was really just the first episode. Like, had it not really gone there like it did, I probably would have been okay. But it went there.
I'm kind of wondering a little bit, because I don't know that anime do pilots very often, but I wonder if episode 1 was like a double-length pilot kind of thing, and they got notes for, like, tone down the pervy crap. And the rest of the series, they just kind of did that to... So it might... I don't know. I feel like we're not going to completely lose his pervy elements, because that's a big portion of why he became a teacher. But at the same time, I feel like as it goes forward, he would hopefully mature as a character and lean more towards, I want to help these kids, as opposed to, I want to ogle these kids. You have a teacher across the hall that you can ogle. That's fine.
Yeah.
I kind of also want to see if I'm going to say I'm a tentative yay on this. It's a bit of a low yay. I'm not like a hard fuck yes yay. But if I'm like bordering between meh and yay, I might go yay on this, because I feel like there's a lot of potential here for something. Really?
Wow.
I'm wondering if... Well, I don't always trust those, because a lot of those are just like, you know, what's the hottest thing right now? But this is an older anime, so it might have some staying power if that's why it's on there.
I think, like, this would probably get, like, classified along with more, like, the 90s classic anime.
Possibly.
Would be kind of what I would think of it as, if it's got that much staying power.
Maybe.
Meow.
I don't know. Where are you two on this? Are you guys yay, nay, meh?
You go first.
I was gonna say, I think I'd be okay with watching more of it.
Okay. Chibi?
I mean, you heard me at the top of the show. I'm a solid meh.
Okay, so that kind of sounds like we're willing to give this at least another week to watch. Does that sound fair? See how it goes from there? I feel like if it starts to lean more towards he's a pervert, I might be a little more inclined to go meh. But
yeah, I feel like if it gets like continuous, I feel like I'm probably gonna go with nay.
Okay.
Because
we'll see.
I just no.
We'll see if this goes from leans more towards creepy teacher or School of Rock, and I'm hoping School of Rock because, like, I know there's a lot. If you look for them, there's a lot of those kinds of unconventional teacher stories. But at the same time, if you see it done well, you enjoy watching it. And I feel like... No, I was pretty much done. Okay. This would kind of be the show that would do that kind of thing. Yeah. Weirdly enough, I did not think, watching episode 1, that this was going to be a let's continue watching this, but I guess it is. Next week, we'll watch episode 4 to 6 and see if it survives any longer. I think we did discuss, if we do keep watching this, like, extensively, we will probably split it. I think we said episode 17 is probably where we cut off, but I think, like, if we want to break it down evenly or something, maybe around episode 20 would be better, because this is like 43 episodes. So maybe splitting it like half and half, or even like, you know what, since we go by threes, probably ending on episode 21 would be best.
Yeah.
But again, I think it has to survive another week to do that.
That's true.
Also, next week, don't forget, we're going to be watching Madoka Magica Rebellion for the Madoka Magica thing what was her name? Megumi Mary brought up to me earlier this month. Yeah. Losing my train of thought,
okay?
sorry. No.
Okay.
Brain's farting. Brain's farting a lot.
Yeah, I feel that.
Anyone have anything else to say, bring up, mention? Well, he has a teaching degree. He completed the schooling. It's that, you have to have an exam or, like, recertification every couple of years, I think, if you want to work for public school. Private school is like, you know what, it's not the government paying for it, it's the parents or whatever, so it's like... But they have a little more control in that regard, I think. So,
It's why, like, a lot of, like, Catholic schools, like, a lot of them, like, at least... I don't know about so much nowadays, but at least I know that they used to, like, really only be taught by nuns.
Right. So it was like, because it's being funded not through municipality or whatever, you don't have municipal, like, standardization and, like, everyone has to have the same kind of criteria to work there. It's a workaround, I guess, but... Yeah. I think that's it. Is that...
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Next week, Madoka Magica Rebellion, Great Teacher Onizuka, 4 through 6. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and feel free to check out some of our other gaming videos, our weekly podcast, Anime Yay or Nay, or our parody series, Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!